Welcome to another exciting episode of Extraordinary Ordinary Women. And I'm Margherita. I'm excited to be able to share with you stories of ordinary women, women in our community, perhaps even your next door neighbour, women who have had a dream or an idea and followed it through to fruition. Their stories will encourage you, uplift you, and hopefully inspire you to ignite the seeds of greatness within your heart. For it's through sharing that we come to realize that we are not Robinson Crusoe, all alone on our own little island, but that there is, particularly now with social media, this network of truly amazing women, women who willingly stretch out their hand with encouragement. Having found this for myself when my life was turned upside down, it's my gift to those women to be able to pay forward the gift of encouragement to others. So, without further ado, I have great pleasure in introducing you to Angie Poller. Now, Angie is another truly inspiring woman, someone whose journey is a powerful reminder that even through life's most difficult chapters, something meaningful can emerge. Angie Poller is the founder of Remedii, an Australian business creating wearable heat and cold therapy packs designed to help people manage pain in a practical and natural way. And I can highly speak of heat packs for managing pain. Angie's path to entrepreneurship has not been an easy one. As a single mum raising two children, she has navigated significant personal challenges, including surviving domestic violence and living with the debilitating effects of complex regional pain syndrome. Hope you're going to explain that a little bit in our talk today, Angie. It's a chronic pain condition that can profoundly affect daily life. But rather than allowing those circumstances to define her, Angie chose to transform her experience into something that could help others. Through her own search for relief and practical solutions, the idea for Remedii was born. Thoughtfully designed, wearable heat packs that allow people to work, move, and continue living their lives while managing the pain. What I love most about Angie's story is that it speaks to resilience, courage, and purpose. The ability to take life's hardships and use them as the seed for something that supports and uplifts others. Today, we're going to explore Angie's journey, the challenges she has faced, the inspiration behind Remedii, and the passion that drives her work, helping people find comfort and relief. Angie, it is such a pleasure to have you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Beautiful, beautiful to have you here. So, Angie, before we dive into your story, tell us where you're joining us from today.
Ripley in Queensland.
Ah, sunny Queensland, a place I like to visit, but certainly not in the summertime. Ah,
It's a bit of sun and rain today. It's a nice day.
lovely, because we certainly need rain down here. Anyway,
Mhm.
Angie, your journey has clearly shaped the work you're doing today. Would you share a little about how that journey has led to the creation of Remedii?
It all began because I needed something that wasn't on the market, or the things that were on the market were not good enough. I injured my brachial plexus in a work injury, and it went undiagnosed for 13 months, and by which point it had turned into this disease called CRPS. It's hard to explain. It's a progressive degenerative, mainly a nerve-based condition. Still today, there's no treatment, no cure. They still use amputation as a form of treatment. So the lack of the lack of help out there was astounding. So at the age of 23, I found myself with no hope of a cure, no help to relieve the pain unless I wanted to be on horrible drugs. So I didn't want to go down those medications. So I needed something.
Oh, come on.
The only things that held were direct heat. I needed something that could be really hot, and the wheat bags would always burn. And as you all know, they're awful. So I set it about myself to fix the inside first, the recipe first, and it was about 2 years of trial and error, testing different grains and different combinations until I landed on the combination that I use today. And then having that combination of grains allowed me to keep the bag lightweight, which enabled me to do the designs that I can and make them wearable. And initially, it was only just to help myself. That was about 15 years ago.
So then what was the moment that you thought to take it a little bit farther than just helping yourself?
Back in the early stages when I was making them, I was also in a support group for CRPS. And I had friends mainly in the US, and one of my friends had a small business of her own. And we promised each other that we would use our businesses to raise money to find a cure because so many of us were dying with no hope. We just in chronic pain and there's no hope for anything. So we thought we would try and do that. But she's since passed, and so my dream is to make a change and give enough money back so that we can find a treatment and a cure. That's the whole point of Remedii. And in the process of that, it also allows people to manage their own pain, which is kind of a nice twofold to a business, I think.
Oh, absolutely, because managing pain is can be a primary concern because pain in impacts our life. So I've just lost my words. So drastically in some cases. So, and I see you're sitting with all because your product is red, and you're obviously in your.
No, no, no. This isn't for me. This is for Mecca. My website, I do shades of blue and beige. This is a different order that I'm working on.
Ah, right. Just because I've seen your heat packs that are red, and assumed that that's what you were busy doing.
They're the ones that are stocked at Mecca at the moment.
Right. So how did you go about building your business once you got the idea?
So it was about 15, well, maybe even 20 years ago that I made them, but then I left the DV situation and my children were only 3 and 5 at the time. So that was a good 10 years when I tried. I did some government courses, but nothing ever made any sense. And it wasn't until about 3.5 years ago, Global Sisters popped up on my news feed. And I joined Sister School and I met Mandy. And since then, it's just been they've literally laid the steps in front of me, and I've stepped over them, and they've shown me the way and wrapped their arms around me. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be Remedy today. I would still be someone just trying to make heat packs. So it is all because of Global Sisters that it is a business today.
And they are an amazing organization. Mandy is just phenomenal. So, how did you come across the name Remedy to as your marketing product?
Well, through Global Sisters, I did sister school and I had the ability to pitch to a CEO to get a coach. And when he came on board, we decided to do rebranding, and that was part of the rebranding was choosing a new name for the company. And out of a list, I liked that one. It was actually taken at the time, but I waited nearly 2 years and then it became available, so I was able to buy
Oh,
Remedy.
wow, it's interesting. And what's interesting about anybody starting a business, but the women that I've been interviewing, is that it's not an overnight success. It takes years to get to that overnight success part of the story. What have been some of the challenges? Because whatever we take on board, whether it's training, whether it's a business, there are challenges that we face. What have been some of the hardest challenges that you've faced in your journey over the many years?
I'm definitely not there yet. I'm still spending 70% of my income on rent. I'm definitely not there yet. I haven't reached that point. But for me, I'm enjoying the journey. And I think because I don't have a business background, I don't know what is to come. So it's just been a joy getting here for me. I don't think I'll ever get there. I won't be there until there's a cure and a treatment for this disease, because that's the point to remedy. It's not to crack $1 million. It's not to buy me a house. It's got nothing to do with that. So for me, there is no getting there. It's just a matter of a process for me.
Yeah. And so the challenges, so you've explained part of the journey there. And I really liked what you said that you're not there yet, that it takes time. And it does, it really does. So what would have been, or what are some of the challenges that you've faced along the way?
Challenges in my business, because I make a product, so it's being able to have income to purchase fabric. That's been my main challenge. Yeah, that just trying to maintain my level of stock, and um, yeah, because the learning, that's all been provided by global systems, and it's all so well set out that that's also been enjoyable to learn. So that hasn't been so much of a struggle for me. Trying to find support, I don't struggle with that, because that all comes with global sisters. So the only struggle I have really found is financial, and my body, the limitations for the pain. But yeah, I manage it.
So, Angie, the pain in your body, does that impact your ability to sew and or the number of hours that you can sew throughout the day, putting together your,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. After nearly 30 years since I first was diagnosed, it's spread throughout my whole body. But there's also a point that with this disease, when you rest, it gets worse. Like when I go to bed, it gets worse. So
Wow.
moving is better for me than not moving. And because I make it myself, I can do different jobs on different days and give different parts of my body a rest. So I manage it, is the way I get through it.
And what I find fascinating with interviewing women like yourself is that I'm currently going through a cancer journey, and people say, "Oh, cancer," but I am finding, like yourself, there's pain. You learn how to manage it. You learn to go through the day according to what you can and can't do. Um, but I'm just coming across women folk who have got far worse conditions than my cancer, the cancer that I have. So you've mentioned your some of your challenges. What have been some of the rewards of your journey?
Getting stopped at Mecca, that's a big one.
Would you
That's
explain that, please? Would you explain that?
this all comes back to Mandy, Mandy and her connections. I don't know exactly how it happened, but somehow Mecca learned of me. Mandy, it's got to be through Mandy. And anyway, last year during the Endometriosis Awareness Month, we got some of my heat packs for the staff at Mecca, just for them to trial and see how they were. And then a year later, it's just snowballed from there.
Well, so when you say
So
Mecca, what is Mecca? I'm ignorant of that.
they've got 130 stores in Australia, New Zealand. It's like makeup and fragrance, and it's like
Okay.
David Jones but for makeup. I don't know. Forgive me, Mecca. I'm sorry. I don't know a better way to say that, but they're huge. They're incredible, and
Aha. Right.
And they're very vigorous of the testing and the trials they put their products through. And when people shop there, they know what they've gone through to get in there. So for my heat packs to be on the shelves,
Oh,
that's huge.
that is huge.
That's a huge win for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my ignorance is I live in a small country town. Um,
I do too. I didn't know about them until this happened. My daughter knew of them, but not me. But yeah, I appreciate who they are now. But yeah, this has been awesome. So I'm doing the endometriosis campaign again this month. That's what all of these ones are for.
I saw that on your Instagram page. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be asked back again, as someone who makes something with their hands, that's incredible for me. That's a big win.
Absolutely. That's a feather in your cap. Absolutely. So, Angie, finally, what words of wisdom have emerged from your journey that you would want to share?
Um, I think sometimes in life, well, a lot of times in life, you have to realize that no one's coming to save you and that you can't just, there comes a point where you can't just sit there and look at your wounds forever. At some point, you have to get up and move on. So that would probably be my words of wisdom.
Absolutely. Yes. And for women who have gone through situations like yourself and myself through a divorce, that's when you realize there is no knight in shining armor coming to rescue you like in the fairy tales. You've got to get in there and do the hard work yourself. So,
You know, when bad things happen, I think you take the emotion and you put it away somewhere where you don't have to feel it, but you keep the lesson, and that way you can move on. That's what I think.
that's beautifully said. Thank you. I think that's also another valuable gold nugget that you've just shared. Um, Angie, thank you so much for being vulnerable and open in sharing your story. And folk, if you'd like to connect with Angie or explore her products further, you'll find all the details in the description box below. And I look forward to sharing the story of another extraordinary, ordinary woman with you all. Thank you for joining us today. And if you enjoy hearing the stories of ordinary women doing extraordinary things, I invite you to subscribe and join us for future conversations. With heart, Margherita. And again, thank you, Angie, for
Thank
being
you.